is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday the 31st day of May in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. 3 armed bandits who attacked a Norton Street construction worker in his home demanding money and jewelry were shot dead by the police on Thursday night. 2 of the bandits have since been identified as Sean Brown Jr. and Junior Nurse. The 3rd bandit is still to be identified. Sean Brown Jr. is the son of the late gunman John Brown, who was also gunned down by police a few years ago. Construction worker Neville Leslie said he was in his house when the 3 armed men invaded and held him and his 5-year-old son at gunpoint.
Jump over me door and point a gun in my face and tell me where the gun and the money. Then if I don't talk, they're going to shoot me. So by the time they think my son come downstairs and they tell me if I don't keep my son quiet, they'd shoot me and my son.
He said the 3 men demanded money and jewelry, claiming that they were also aware that there was a woman staying in the house who had just arrived in the country. The man said he pleaded with the bandits even as they refused to let him go. At one point, Leslie said his 5-year-old son questioned him about whether they were going to die.
So the guy will stick me up telling the other 2, they will type this man and do like this, do everybody else. I said, man, yelling, I do me nothing. My son keep hollering, daddy, they're going to shoot me, they're going to shoot me. I said, son, no, stay quiet. So after when the police come and I get for block up the bedroom door, I loose out some of the louvers from thing and I let down my son. One of them police collect and I jump through the window.
As police arrived on the scene and the bandits started to engage the police in a shootout, the man said he was able to escape with his son through a bedroom window. The shootout lasted for over an hour in the poorly lit neighborhood. Scores of police officers arrived at the scene and could be spotted taking up tactical positions. As the gunfire eventually ceased, one of the bandits was seen alive but injured, being taken to a police vehicle. He died while undergoing treatment at a Georgetown hospital. The other 2 died on the spot at a Norton Street house. At the hospital, the mother of Sean Brown was overheard telling friends that she last saw her 25-year-old son earlier in the night and he was the type to not take advice. Police investigations are ongoing tonight. More news coming up in just a moment.
You've got this. And we've got you. With Blaze Superfast Internet. Blaze is fast, easy, reliable internet that you can trust. So celebrate, because there's always more to love with GTT.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about, and ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
As a luxury mechanic, I'm often asked, what gas should I use in my expensive vehicle? In other countries, you have regular and mid-grade gasoline known as 87, 89, and premium gasoline known as octane 93 to 95. For affordable, high-quality fuel, performance and high mileage, visit Guy Oil today. Choose Guy Oil Super 95. Guy Oil, we are everywhere.
Get your documents ready to be registered. Are you eligible to be registered during GCOM's house-to-house registration exercise? Then you must have either a birth certificate, a valid passport, naturalization certificate or certificate of registration, adoption certificate. Married women may also be asked to present their marriage certificate. Individuals who had a name change, which is not stated on their birth certificate, must present a deed poll along with their original birth certificate. Get your documents ready now and prepare to be registered. If you were previously registered, you will need to be registered again. Be on the lookout. It is your right. Make it your responsibility. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027729 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy. Contact your nearest GCOM registration office or visit our website www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. The Guyana Police Force is coming in for praise from both citizens and the government for its dismantling of criminal gangs. Last evening, 3 armed bandits were shot dead by the police during a more than 1-hour confrontation on Norton Street here in the city. It is suspected that the 3 men were linked to other criminal events in the city. 2 weeks ago, 3 other bandits were shot dead in the Berbice region, and a large quantity of guns and ammunition were recovered from that scene. The 3 in Berbice had been fingered in several robberies and murders that had haunted the community of Berbice. At a press conference today, the government's chief spokesman and Director General at the Ministry of the Presidency, Joe Harmon, told reporters that the government believes the police force is being led well as it tackles the country's crime problem.
I believe that the Commissioner of Police and his officers, I think the Guyana Police Force is now better led. There's a better cadre of senior officers. There's a better cadre of intelligence officers who are now ensuring that police operations are intelligence-led and intelligence-driven.
Mr. Harmon said the government remains confident in the efforts of the police force to arrest the crime situation.
The Guyana Police Force, I would wish to say that the government has the full confidence in the ability of our police officers to deal with crime in this country.
Over the past few months, the Guyana Police Force has reported that while there has been an increase in some cases of criminal activity, the overall figure for crime has decreased. That decrease may not be enough comfort for the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown, which recently reissued its travel advisory to U.S. citizens, warning them about Guyana's crime situation. In the courts now, 28-year-old Junior Henry will be spending the next 25 years in jail after being found guilty of murder. Justice James Bubble Drakes handed down the sentence today, 2 weeks after a 12-member jury returned a guilty verdict in the 2013 murder case. Although the man claimed that he acted in self-defense when he shot and killed Michael Hamilton, he was still found guilty of the capital offense of murder. It was on the 7th of October 2013 that the 2 men got into a fight in the Sparendam area, and Hamilton was shot and killed. Throughout the trial, the accused claimed that he had not shot the man, and was surprised when he heard the man died from a gunshot injury. He said he only used a cutlass to hit the man during their fight. The confrontation between the 2 men was reportedly over a young woman who they both loved. And still in the courts, Magistrate Lerone Daly today sentenced 26-year-old Ling Avenue resident Joshua Joseph to a total of 11 years in jail for 3 cases of armed robbery and 1 case of illegal gun possession. However, the sentences will run concurrently, so he's only likely to spend 3 years behind bars. The man was accused of the armed robbery of 3 vendors at a Stabroek market on the 29th of May. He was slapped with a total of 5 charges. It is alleged that he robbed 3 of the vendors of a total of $115,000 in cash, and on the same day he was nabbed in the Hatfield Street area while being armed with a .38 revolver and matching rounds. He was held by the police after he was surrounded by a group of dogs. The magistrate sentenced him to 3 years in jail on each robbery charge and 2 years in jail on the illegal weapons charge. Let's tell you now that with the Canada ferry out of operation and bringing a halt to the ferry service between Guyana and Suriname, the Guyana government is contemplating whether Guyana should put one of its own ferries to traverse the crossing. The Canada is operated by both governments on a 6-month rotation basis, but the ferry's engine has been giving troubles for a while, and the decision was made recently to put it out of operation for the problem to be investigated and possibly rectified. That decision has left a void in the crossing, which sees more than 70,000 people utilizing the service annually. Today, Director General at the Ministry of the Presidency, Joe Harmon, said the Public Infrastructure Minister is examining the possibility of Guyana moving one of its ferries to the location.
This is a service which the people are depending on. And if it becomes necessary, I believe our Minister of Public Infrastructure has already started to contemplate whether, in fact, we may have to put a vessel there ourselves.
This weekend, the MB Sandaka will ply the route to assist stranded passengers. But when the Sandaka wraps up its operations, travelers will be forced to use the backtrack crossing between the 2 countries, which remain unregularized and unregulated. Mr. Harmon said that is not something the government would encourage.
We do not believe in backtrack. We believe that everything that is done must be legal and lawful. And as a government, we will never encourage backtrack operations.
Harmon said both the governments of Guyana and Suriname have had previous discussions on the ferry situation, noting that it came up for discussion during a meeting between President David Granger and his Surinamese counterpart. Across the Region is coming up next.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Canaan, East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013 with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000 barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
You've got this. And we've got you. With Blaze Superfast Internet. Blaze is fast, easy, reliable internet that you can trust. So celebrate, because there's always more to love with GTT.
Across the region right now, Sandals Resorts says a class action lawsuit recently filed against the company in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida is baseless, both in fact and law, and will be vigorously defended by Sandals. Sandals has been hit with a massive lawsuit over claims that the company worked in concert with local Caribbean governments in a decades-long tax fraud scheme. Sandals is accused of charging guests 12% tax rates, but instead of handing over the money to local governments, the funds were secretly retained by the resort for its own profit, according to the suit filed in federal court. New Jersey resident Vitaly Feldman is the only named plaintiff in the lawsuit, and he hired Miami-based law firm Lipcon, Margulies, Alsina, and Winkleman to represent him, along with any others who joined the suit, which is seeking at least $5 million. In a statement on Thursday, Sandals said the assertion that it has not paid taxes due to the governments is categorically false. The resort notes that the class action lawsuits are often intended to coerce a company into settlement to avoid high litigation costs and negative publicity. The company intends to fight the lawsuit. Trinidad and Tobago has launched a massive initiative to register all Venezuelan migrants in the country. Thousands of Venezuelan migrants have been rushing over to Trinidad and Tobago to escape the economic hardships back home. While Trinidad has extended a welcoming hand, the Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said there is only so much his country could do and take on, and Trinidad will be taking care of its own citizens first.
As the government, we have a responsibility to protect the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago first and foremost. Whatever we feel about the people of Venezuela and their circumstance, our first and primary responsibility is to protect the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You look at the map of Northern South America, and Venezuela is a huge space. Trinidad and Tobago is a tiny dot in the mouth of the Orinoco River. Population-wise, we have 1.3 million people on these islands. Venezuela has 33 million people. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Venezuelan problem is for Venezuelans.
Over the past year, Trinidad and Tobago has seen boatloads of Venezuelans arriving almost weekly. It is estimated that there are already over 40,000 Venezuelan migrants in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is worrying for the Twin Island Caribbean state. And finally tonight, international news. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange has suffered prolonged exposure to psychological torture. That's according to the UN's torture expert. The expert Nils Melzer urged Britain not to extradite the WikiLeaks founder, warning that his human rights will be violated and that he is not fit to stand trial. The expert has also accused several democratic states of a concerted effort to break Assange's will. The UK government said it disagreed with a number of his observations. A Justice Ministry spokesman said the UK did not participate in torture. Judges were independent of the government and anyone convicted had the right to appeal, the spokesman said. The 47-year-old Assange is fighting extradition to the US over charges related to leaking government secrets. He sought political asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in London back in 2012, where he stayed until his arrest earlier this year. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.